slides based or depending on the question. So I put the questions side by side, and then I put the slides together based on how the question comes. So they are kind of not arranged orderly. So FYI, just wanted to make sure you know that in case it looks confusing and scattered, I made those slides based on my question. So we looked at the respiratory tract defenses and normal microbiota. And we learned that the upper respiratory tract has many built-in defenses, such as the nasal head. We have the mucus, the cilia. We have coughing, sneezing, and secretory IgA. But despite these defenses, many microorganisms normally live in the upper respiratory tract without causing disease. And the lower respiratory tract contains fewer resident microbes and relies on mucus. They rely on macrophages and the secretory IgA as well. So what I want you guys to focus on each of these slides is the causative agents, defenses, transmission, prevention, if vaccine is used, if antibiotic or antifungal is used. I mean, I'm talking now based on all the slides that I made. So I want your focus to be on these things I mentioned: prevention, complication, disease progression, the causative agents, if vaccines are available or not, if vaccines are not available, what are the possible treatment strategies? So those are some of the things I want you to focus on. So we looked at common cold, and the causative agent for common colds includes rhinovirus, coronavirus, adenovirus, and then we have the respiratory syncytial virus. So transmission can be indirect contacts, and also droplet contacts. And symptoms include sneezing, scratchy throats, runny nose, and in children, children are going to have fever. Fever is one of the symptoms in children. So we looked at pharyngitis. Symptoms include pain, inflammation of the throat, you have redness or swollen mucosa. So again, just like I said, focus on, symptoms include, I don't know if I mentioned symptoms earlier. So pharyngitis causative agent includes Streptococcus pyogenes. Streptococcus pyogenes, which are group A Streptococcus. And then we looked at complication. Untreated streptococcal throat infection may result in serious complication. For example, we have the scarlet fever. So the scarlet fever is a complication if streptococcal or strep throat infection is not treated. And we also have the rheumatic fever. So So the rheumatic fever is one of the complications if streptococcal infection is also not treated. So we also talked about the transmission of pharyngitis. And transmission is through respiratory droplets or direct contact with mucus secretion. We also learned that humans are the only significant reservoir of pharyngitis. And then we looked at whooping cough. Whooping cough. It is caused by Bordetella pertussis, that is the causative agent, and it is transmitted through droplet contact. And then signs and symptoms include runny nose, and you also cough. So coughing is part of it. You have severe coughing. And then for prevention, whooping cough is prevented by using vaccine. The DTaP vaccine. Antibiotic treatment therapy can also be used for treatments, but prevention is through vaccination. So we looked at influenza as well. We have influenza A, B, C, A, B, and C. Yeah, so don't worry too much about the structure. And then we looked at how influenza changes, and it changes through either antigenic drift or antigenic shift. And which is why we always require new influenza vaccine, because of antigenic shift and drift. During antigenic drifts, there is gradual change in amino acid composition. That is what happened during antigenic drifts. So during antigenic shift, there is an RNA exchange between different influenza viruses. So we looked at influenza transmission. Influenza is transmitted through indirect contact with fomites. And then transmission is also possible when you find yourself or in crowded environments or where there's poor ventilation. transmission of influenza can occur through indirect contact with fomites. Inhalation of the virus as well through aerosols and droplets. So when you come in contact with someone that is infected and they sneeze or they release droplets and you inhale, you will get the influenza virus, or you get infected. And also when you find yourself in places that are crowded, especially if you live, if you share spaces, you are at higher risk of getting influenza. So we looked at community-acquired pneumonia. And we say, we learned that pneumonia are gram-negative bacteria. They are able to survive and persist in natural habitats. So community-acquired pneumonia is widely distributed in tap water, cooling towers, spas, ponds, and other fresh water. So we looked at TB or tuberculosis. Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis, culture, and diagnosis. So to detect or diagnose tuberculosis, we use the tuberculin testing. We use the tuberculin testing or the Mantoux test. Where is that coming from? Okay. So, just like I said, this may look out of order or scattered, but don't be confused. So, signs and symptoms of tuberculosis. So, we're going to look at the primary, secondary, and then also look at the latent or the tertiary forms of tuberculosis. So, primary tuberculosis. It has an infectious dose of about 10 bacterial cells. Bacteria multiply in the macrophages. And then for the secondary tuberculosis, symptoms include violent coughing with greenish or bloody sputum. You would have a mild fever or a low-grade fever. You would also experience weight loss with extreme fatigue and night sweats. So because of the violent coughing, you would have chest pain. It's going to come with chest pain as well. So, tuberculosis is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. That is a major causative agent. It is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis.
Can you go back one for like 2 seconds?
Tuberculosis is transmitted via droplets of respiratory mucus that are suspended in the air. So, you're susceptible to tuberculosis if you don't, for example, if you don't feed well or inadequate nutrition. If you have poor access to medical care, and if you're immunocompromised as well. Is there any question? Any question?
I have one question.
Yes.
When it comes to all of the infections and diseases you listed, you said this at the beginning. You said the causative agent, the transmission,
Prevention, disease progression.
and progression.
Yes.
So causative agent, transmission, prevention, and progression.
Yes. Signs and symptoms as well.
And signs and symptoms.
Yes. Yeah. Those are the main. Yes.
Are you gonna post this slide?
Yes.
You can post the slides.
Yes, I will. Yeah, just like I don't focus on everything because this is just chapter 19 and I think it has about 17 slides. Chapter 20 is about 24 to 25 slides for the review. Again, that's why I mentioned don't focus on everything, just focus on what I told you guys earlier. Even though there are lots, but just focus on them.
Wait, I'm sorry, I have another question.
Yes.
So are you posting is it gonna be review slides, or is it gonna just be the reposting of the chapter 19?
No, I'm not reposting chapter 19.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be
The original chapter 19 is about 41 page.
okay, got it. So this is gonna be review slides.
Yes.
Just that one.
Huh?
You mean just that one? That slide?
Sorry, say that one more time.
It's just that slide?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
About 17 slide.
17 total for the review?
Yes, for chapter 19.
Oh, for only chapter 19.
Yes.
Okay.
So just like I said, you have more questions. So that's why you have more slides compared to,
How many questions?
it's close to 50. Yes.
So it's a final 70 points or 100 points, but I think the syllabus says 70 for the grade books. The syllabus says 100, but the grade book says
say 70? Let me check.
I
So
have
that,
another question.
yes,
Are any of those 50 questions fill in the blank or they all multiple choice or?
multiple choice, and then you have NCLEX as well.
That what?
NCLEX. Case studies.
How many NCLEX?
I think it's about 5
And that's not extra credit, that's just normal questions.
extra credit. It's just like every other question, but you just have more questions in the final. I'm just being careful so that tomorrow you not say, he said study this. So let's go to chapter. Let's look at chapter 20. Let's look at chapter 20. Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Professor,
Mhm.
besides that last assignment that you just opened, are you not, is that it? Are we not doing any of the other ones? Are we good for this?
Which last
semester?
assignment?
You just,
5, right? Group assignment 5.
there's more than that, but if you don't wanna sign it, I'm okay with.
I've given out group assignment 5.
You?
Yes.
It's not published.
Not that one, and, well, there's others, but like I said, you don't have to.
There's a critical thinking, chapter 19 and 20.
Is that what you're talking about? The critical thinking?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's,
I did that
there's,
already. But like the other thing, the group assignment 5 is not published.
there's a couple things.
Give me 1 second.
The other ones like your clinical, or like the clinical case study thing that's out of 30 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's January 1st. Yeah, the only thing that's not up is group assignment 5, which, you know, I feel like pretty good.
You don't want any more assignments.
The group assignment is to study for the exam.
I mean, I would like to see it if it's gonna help us.
If it would help, could it be extra credit? I can give that.
Cause then I don't have to worry about other people either.
So it's assigned, now it's extra credit. That's wonderful.